Hello, and welcome back. For this week's podcast, we're joined by Daniella Samura, who is speaking with us from Tacugama Chimpanzee Sanctuary in Sierra Leone. Daniella goes into the incredible history of the sanctuary, founded in 1998 in the middle of the African nation's brutal civil war. Against the odds, the organisation has expanded, improved, and provides safety, medical aid, and security to the country's symbolic animal. If you like this episode and like to follow more on this project, please follow the links in the description. And if you'd like to support us, you can make a donation at restoreourplanet.org or follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Enjoy the conversation. Hello, and welcome back to Restore Our Planet podcast with me, your host, Jack Cole. So today I'm joined by Daniella Samura, who is working on the Tacugama Sanctuary based in Sierra Leone. So welcome, Daniella. If you could start by telling us a little bit about your background and the history of the sanctuary.
Thank you very much, Jack. I'm very happy to be here. I'm Daniella Samura, and I'm the Communication Officer of Tacugama Community Outreach Program. I do a lot of communication. I write articles. I go to radio stations, to television stations. I operate the Salon for Chimp Facebook page, and I do a lot of things that deals with communication, write jingles and stuff like that. And for Tacugama Chimpanzee Sanctuary, it is located in Sierra Leone, in the outskirts of Freetown, in the Western Area Peninsula National Park. And Tacugama was established in 1995 by Mr. Bala Amarasikaran and his wife Shamila. It came into being because of a little chimp named Bruno. Mr. Bala purchased this chimp, and along the way, he actually got quite into him, and he noticed how these animals were being killed and how people were hunting them in the wild and destroying the habitat. So he decided to create or establish a wildlife sanctuary. And it was actually in the middle of the war, because the civil war in Sierra Leone started in 1991 up to 2002. So just imagine, here in the middle of where the war, there was a wildlife sanctuary. So since then till now, it has been a conservational success, because Tacugama does not only advocate for wild chimpanzees, we also advocate for other animals as well. We care about protecting the environment, and we engage in a lot of things. And we have the community outreach. We help to enforce wildlife laws, rescue and rehabilitate critically endangered orphan chimpanzees. And currently, Tacugama is caring for over 100 chimpanzees, orphan chimpanzees. Yes, and of course, we engage in community outreach, wildlife field research, environmental sustainability, conservation, education, livelihood program, and a lot of things that are related to conservation.
Brilliant. That's a fantastic place to start. So going a little broader there, Daniela, would you mind telling us, for those who don't know, including myself, largely, what is the broader perspective of conservation, or deforestation, or the state of wildlife in Sierra Leone? What has been the trends over the last few decades?
Okay, well, in the last few decades, a lot of people have engaged in a large scale of deforestation, and that has led to the depopulation of wildlife, especially chimpanzees. Now that they're endangered, and not only chimpanzees and other animals as well. Here in the Western Area Peninsula National Park, people living around the communities are also grabbing the lands, cutting down the trees and killing the animals, not only here in Freetown, also in the other areas that we're operating, where we have the other different national parks, like the other parks that we're working with, the Loma Mountains National Park, the Gula Rainforest National Park, the Utamba Kilimi National Park. People are cutting trees, but we're trying to ensure that we discourage them from doing such acts, as in we're engaging communities, providing them alternative livelihood support instead, because you cannot just go to people and tell them to stop cutting down trees and killing animals without providing any other alternative source. Of course, not only Tacugama, with our partners as well, because we have various institutions and organizations that we partner with. And even the 2017 mudslide we had, one of the causes was deforestation. people were cutting down the trees and building in hilltops where they're not supposed to build. And these areas are all very close to the national and the Western Area Peninsula National Park. So if you do that, you destroy the environment, you kill the animals, and at the end of the day, we're the ones that will suffer because we're the humans and we're the ones that, live very closely with the animals. We shouldn't be in conflict with them. So deforestation is one major problem in Sierra Leone. People always like to cut trees, some for agricultural purposes, some for economic purposes, some for livelihood, and a lot of other things.
And you mentioned a few other organizations there. Tell us a little bit more about you mentioned sort of community outreach and providing alternatives. What are some of those realistic alternatives for ordinary people?
Yes, for people living in areas where we have a lot of wildlife, like for here in Sierra Leone, we happen to have one of the largest collection of wild chimpanzees, according to the chimpanzee census we had in 2005. We have about 5,500 wild chimpanzees left, and a bulk of those numbers are located in the Loma Mountains National Park. So people living in communities where we have lots of these animals, we provide agricultural support to them like rice seeds rather, like farming tools and a lot of other things. And we also have people patrolling the area. We're working with the National Protected Area Authority, the NPA. They have rangers. That is it's an organization formed by an act of parliament. It's working closely with the Ministry of Environment. So they're there to patrol those areas because we need to ensure that when we provide these things to people, they don't go to the forest to do the same things. Yes, so we also give them things that will ensure to boost their livelihood. We also work with children. We have nature clubs and other things, just to ensure that these people stay away from the forest for their own good also, not only for the animals, because some of those animals have diseases. So we always try to talk with them, we're always in the field, especially in the outreach department. Always guys are in the field talking with people, working with different organizations to ensure that things get done.
And going back to the chimpanzees themselves, how do you usually come across them? Are they being trafficked? Are they sort of saved from the habitat destruction? What is the general state in which they come or arrive at your sanctuary?
Well, sometimes we get calls from people. Recently, like a week ago, we had a call. People calls all the way from the provinces in Kabbalah. They told us that they had sighted a chimp. And our duty is whenever someone sees a chimp, they should inform Tacugama because Tacugama is the only major, as in the only wildlife sanctuary in Sierra Leone. And since we're dealing with chimps and the chimpanzee is the national animal of Sierra Leone, it means that it is illegal for anyone to keep them, to sell them, or to traffic them to other country. So once that happens, call us and we send our field officers to confiscate those chimps. Yeah, sometimes it can be really tough to get the chimps because people actually sell them. The ones that are alive are much more valuable. Some people sell them for like $200 or more, but the ones that are dead for the bushmeat, they're not so expensive as compared to live chimps, and people are much more interested in baby chimps. Yes,
Sorry.
for some people.
Yeah. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you, Daniel. The only reason I was smiling, I could hear there was a bit of someone
Yeah,
or
the
a
chimps.
little bit
The
upset.
chimps are downstairs. The
Oh,
chimps.
okay.
Yes.
Sorry, quite yeah. Sorry, I just had that going in the background. I wanted to everyone was all right. Sorry, please continue talking about some people sell them for $200.
Yeah.
They sell for bushmeat, that sort of thing. And then I was asking, what kind of condition do you find them in? Are they brought to the sanctuary?
Well, it's sad. For some, they bring them here, but for some, we have to get them. And when you meet the chimps, they're in a very deplorable conditions. Sometimes you meet them have they have ropes tied around their waist. You keep kept in very bad conditions, and it is not good for them. Chimpanzees that are living in the wild, especially for the babies, they're with their mothers for up to 7 years, and they're constantly on the watch being cared for by their mothers. So when humans capture them, they keep them in unethical conditions. Sometimes they're not they're not given proper food, so that is bad. So when we get them now, we try to keep them in a quarantine area for a period of time to know whether they're okay, whether they're sick, so that they don't spread any sickness to the other chimps at the sanctuary. So it's very bad, but we're trying. That is why we always go to radio stations, write news articles, to partner with organizations to ensure that we get people the message. We do surveys, we walk around the streets of Freetown, provinces, do surveys, just so we try to get people to change their perceptions about chimps.
And largely, where does your support come from?
Come again?
Sorry, where does your support largely come from?
Well, our support comes from, okay, for here we have sanctuary tours. People come here. Yes, they come for sanctuary tours, Sierra Leoneans, non-Sierra Leoneans. We have hiking, we have bird watching, and we have other projects that we're working on. We have Chimpanzee Guardian. You can actually adopt a chimp here at Tacugama. And we have people who donate. We have friends of Tacugama. And also we have people who are well-wishers who support the sanctuary, since it's a non-profit organization and we're here to look after the chimps. We work with different institutions.
Brilliant. And tell me, what's a sort of day-to-day, what's daily life like living? We just heard, as I say, a bit of action happening in the background. What is it like day-to-day to work there, to live there, to interact with the chimps and the animals?
Well, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes I go to the chimps, especially the babies. I love them. I go there with one or two of the care staff and try to take footages of them or pictures to post on social media, especially for TikTok. People love these cute chimps videos. So when you go there, well, okay, because the chimps are very intelligent. If they don't know you, you go there, they throw rocks at you. So you have to go with someone, yes. Yes, and
Yeah.
the care staff has to take nuts. You give them the nuts and they start eating, then they totally forget about you. If not, you go there, they throw rocks at you. But they're really, really cute and they're very, very intelligent. And sometimes it's just beautiful when you look at them. Some who are little babies who were born here, who were given birth to here, and they always clung onto their mothers. The mothers are very, very protective. Even when you're here, you can see it. When you come in the morning, you can hear the voices, shouting who and everything like that. But for me, I'm living in the middle of Freetown. So when you're here, it's like you're in an entirely different atmosphere. Everything is calm, peaceful. We're with the chimps, birds, making noises, trees, and the weather is so cool up here. So I think it's cool, very nice coming here.
Yes. Sorry, do you say it's cold where you are?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit windy because of the forest.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Downtown, there are no trees. You don't see so many trees downtown. But
Right.
here, we're in the middle of the park.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So you have lots of trees, and we have the Congo Dam, and the other streams around, and the place is so peaceful. It's just you and nature.
Of course. Oh, sounds nice. So given sort of recent and current events regarding of course the COVID pandemic and energy and supply chain issues, how has the sanctuary been faring, and wildlife perhaps more generally in Sierra Leone? If that's not too broad, how's that been faring through current situation and state of things?
Well, during the pandemic, I'm sure the sanctuary had to close because by that time I wasn't here. Started working here in March. Yeah. So the sanctuary had to close down because the chimps and humans, we share 98.6% DNA, which means they can easily get diseases that humans get. So we had to shut down the sanctuary, and almost all the staffs were here, and those who had to travel abroad, they travel, and it was not easy at all. And even now that the COVID is a little bit relaxed, but we're still very cautious. Everyone here has a face mask. You can't go around without face mask, and you're not allowed to go close to the chimps. Only the care staff and the vets, they're allowed to go close to the chimps. And so that's that. It has not been easy really, but we're coping. We're trying to get back on our feet.
Good, good. And as time progresses, Daniela, how would you like to see things develop in the coming years? Maybe perhaps 5 to 10 years, some positive trends that you're hopeful to see.
Yeah, well, in the future, we hope that every Sierra Leonean embrace the chimpanzee as the national animal and be proud of them. We want chimpanzees imprinted and drawn in t-shirt, backpacks, everything. We want people to be proud of the animals. Here, a lot of people do not know that the chimpanzee is a national animal, and the situation is quite different as compared to other countries. Like, for example, in Rwanda, people are very proud of the mountain gorillas. So that's the same thing we want here. We want everyone to be proud of this animal because if they know the importance of the animal and its contribution to keeping the forest going, then I'm sure people will stop hunting these animals and even destroying their natural habitat. So that is why we're always working with people, going out there, having community outreach. We're also working with schools. We have the Tacugama Children Environmental, and it's called TIKIP. And we have this book that we've launched, and it's been included in the national curriculum because we want children to learn about the national animal. So that is why we're going the extra mile, really. That's it. And sometimes we even organize events here for children, like this World Chimpanzee Day that passed this last July 14th. We had an event here where we invited different school kids to tell them about the national animal. And it was a surprise that most of them did not know. So we're trying, yes. And if we can get the younger generation to accept, it will be easier to spread the message. Because for some people, they've got used to eating bushmeat. So you cannot go and tell them, don't eat this. They'll tell you that my great-grandfather has been doing it and nothing has happened to him. Why shouldn't I do it? So it's quite difficult to change the perception, but we're still working. So we want the chimpanzee to be the face everywhere in Sierra Leone. So as soon as you land, when you come to Sierra Leone, you know that the chimpanzee is very, very important here. And chimpanzee being a flagship species, which means you protect them, protect countless of other animals. It is very important that we ensure that they're safe in Sierra Leone because a lot of countries do not have chimpanzees, so we're lucky. Yes.
Right. And yeah, I think that's a fantastic place to close. So where can people find you and the work going on over at Tacugama? Sort of
Tacugama,
yeah, sorry. So where can people find your work to support it if they like websites, online?
Yes, definitely. If you want to know more about Tacugama, you should check www.tacugama.com and you have all the information. And also, if you want to get us on our different social media platform, on Facebook, we have the Tacugama Chimpanzee Sanctuary, which is mainly for sanctuary updates, and it's also on Twitter and Instagram. And we have the Tacugama Cup, which is mainly for our community outreach activities, and it's on Instagram. And we have the Salon for Chim, and that is for the National Animal Campaign. And we have a National Animal Campaign Facebook page where you can find all the things that we do about the National Animal Campaign and all the videos that I make. And we're also on TikTok and we're Instagram and we're and Twitter. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Daniela, for your time.
Yes, thank you.